Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into tonight's episode of What is in the Night Sky this month, February 2023. My name is Teagan from High Point, and tonight I'm going to be taking you on a beautiful tour of the night sky in the month of February. We're going to go visit star clusters, galaxy, nebula, and we're going to see what the solar system and the moon are up to. So as always, buckle in and let's see what's really out there. The first target on our list tonight is a planetary nebula and arguably one of winter's best planetary nebula. This is called the Clown Face Nebula. NGC 2392, otherwise known as the Clown Face Nebula. It can be found in the constellation of Gemini within the same binocular field of view as the bright star Wasat. That said, you will need a scope to spot this object for yourself, and despite having an apparent diameter that rivals Jupiter, it may seem a little underwhelming at first. A small scope will show it as a tiny hazy circle, but its relatively bright central star should be easily visible. Be on the lookout for a bluish tint, while larger scopes will show a dark ring surrounding the central area. Lastly, try staring at the central star until the disk disappears, and then glance away quickly again. Now for these planetary nebula, you can see it with a small scope, but if you have a chance to look at it with a larger scope, that is going to provide you the best view. The next object on our list is just a multiple star system known as Castor. It's actually the brightest star in the constellation of Gemini, and it's a beautiful sight for nearly any telescope of any aperture. This is quite an appropriate star for the constellation of the Twins, as both components appear white of almost equal brightness. You'll most likely need a magnification of around 100 times to split it, while keen-sighted observers may be able to spot a third lilac-covered component some 71 arcseconds away. Again, you can find this bright, beautiful star in the night sky if you can locate the constellation of Gemini. Next on our list of our tour through the night sky in February, we come to a beautiful star cluster known as the Northern Jewel Box Cluster. Also known as NGC 2362, this is one of the gems of the winter sky. The cluster lies within the same binocular field of view of both Wesen and Aludra, and forms an isosceles triangle with both stars. You can spot it with binoculars, but the cluster is best observed with a telescope. At 35 times magnification, Tau sits near the center of a dense triangular group of much fainter blue-white stars of uniform brightness. The cluster gives the impression of a swarm of bees surrounding a queen, and it's definitely worth seeking out. Now, most astrophotographers hesitate to image an open cluster given the few clear skies that we have. That being said, the Northern Jewel Box Cluster is definitely one for the photo books. Now, we have visited a few deep sky objects. We're going to bring it back closer to home, and we're going to see what the planets and the moon are up to this month. Both Saturn and Neptune are now too close to the sun to be visible. Venus continues to edge into the evening twilight with the planet shining brightly at magnitude -3.4 in the west after sunset. On February 23rd onward, you may be able to find it in the same binocular field of view as Jupiter. Now, Jupiter itself is long past its best and will set just a few hours after the sun by month's end. Uranus is also losing ground to the sun, but you should be able to observe it for the first few hours once the sky turns dark. Mars starts at a magnitude of -0.4 on February 1st and reaches a magnitude of 0.0 on the 10th and ends February at magnitude 0.4. Try comparing its brightness to the stars Capella and Auriga and Procyon in the constellation of Canis Minor. And as far as the moon goes, it turns full on the 5th and then new again on the 20th. Now we are going to head back out into the galaxy and we're going to visit another cluster known as Messier 47. Messier 47 can be spotted within the same binocular field of view as Messier 46 and is the brighter and westerly of the two clusters. Now, both clusters can be located 5 degrees south of Alpha Monocerotis, but at magnitude 4, you may have difficulty seeing the star itself under suburban skies. Telescopically, this cluster appears large and sparse, with stars of varying brightness and a close double at its center. Given its size, this one cluster you'll want to observe at a low magnification, say around 40 times, and ideally with a wide-angle eyepiece. Now, the winter is known for some absolutely gorgeous clusters, and it's not really known for many galaxies, but there is one galaxy on the list that is absolutely beautiful. NGC 2403 rises high in the north and is detectable with binoculars. NGC 2403 is a face-on galaxy detectable with most scopes. A small telescope will show an elongated, hazy patch with a bright core, and mid-sized telescopes can show a number of faint stars within a halo. A large telescope will show some texture, and while the arms may also become apparent, tracing them back to the core will prove to be quite challenging. Alright, so that is it for our tour of the night sky in the month of February. As always, we thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments, and if you've possibly observed or photographed some of these objects, let us know in the comments as well. We always love to hear from you. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you do not miss any future content on astronomy or astrophotography in general. Thank you so much, and clear skies.